Okay, we back. We're back. We're back. I'm like, just like, hey, 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 hey. You see that? Let me know if y'all fuck with it. Just let me know. Everyone. Actually, I learned pretty recently that not everyone has an inner voice in their head. You think things when people like. There's some people that they think things and they cannot hear like anything, bro. Like they can't hear anything, and that's very sad. But I didn't know that. I didn't know there's people like that. I also learned, like, this wasn't recently, but I knew this like a while back, that like some people can like visualize like their things in their mind like way better than other people. Like some people can, if I told you to picture an apple right now, there would be some people that can see like a full 3D high resolution apple. There's some people that can only do like an outline of an apple. There's some people that have nothing. There's some people that have nothing. I don't know where those people are coming from. Listen, if you're watching this video and you're one of those people, you need to click off. You are clearly not human. No, I'm kidding. But what I really want to talk about, the voice that we got in our heads. A lot of times, oh, everyone has the voice in their head that they use to narrate, like just the stuff they're going through throughout the day. You can hear it when you're reading. You can hear it when like someone says something crazy, and you think in your head, "What did this person say to me?" Let's say like, when you see like a girl with a really big personality walking down the street, you think to yourself, "Yeah!" All right, I got it. So, but that's what you be thinking. It's like that voice. That's the voice in your head. But because we constantly hear it, I feel like a lot of times we can take that for granted. But if you really listen to the voice, and if you learn how to work with it, and rather than just exist with it, I think it can do a lot to benefit your life. Why did I scratch my eye in the middle of that? It's very important to listen to what the voice is saying, because the voice impacts our mindset, and our mindset will determine our potential as a person, how we're going to be feeling for the day. You know what I'm saying? If you can bag the baddie, if you can have the confidence to go up there and give that presentation in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying, while Cindy's in the crowd, and if you're going to get nervous or not, like it's a whole thing. Like your mindset determines it's your whole life, because your mindset is what you perceive the world through. So it's like, if the mindset is the vehicle you use to experience the universe, or well, no, like if your mind is what you experience the universe with, and then the voice inside your head helps create the environment in your mind, then it's important to pay attention to the voice and not just like treat it as some sort of like constant thing, or not give it the attention it deserves. To say that you were just the voice in your head would be like saying a burger is just a meat. You know what I mean? While yes, it's one of the main things you focus on, and one of the main, like the most prominent, it doesn't make the whole burger. And if you ignore the other parts, then it's like, right, you're not getting the full picture of the sandwich, and like you're hurting yourself in the end. So it's like you gotta look at it holistically. And while we are focusing on the voice, you are not your voice. That's all I want to say. Your voice in your head, typically, it has two primary modes. It's either got the homie, or it's got the parasite. Now I think you can tell just based off the names. One of these is a little bit better than the other. When the parasite is talking, it's all the negative talk or the bad thoughts that you have about yourself, just like the world, like everything you know. That's the parasite. And when the parasite is talking, it's using your own inner voice to make yourself feel bad. It's typically, like, what I'm trying to refer to specifically is when you're talking bad about yourself, your insecurities, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? Most instances where people like talk or think badly about themselves, the parasite is in control. For example, you look inside the mirror, you'll be like, oh, I wish I was 6 foot instead of 5'7", or I wish my teeth didn't have like that, or I wish I had 2 eyebrows instead of 1 unibrow, or like, you get the message. It's like whenever you try to find imperfections about yourself or judge yourself to other people's standards, something that will place a condition on your self-love, that's when the parasite is winning. That's when he's at his best. That's when he's in his fucking Michael Jordan prime. And I don't fuck with that. We do not fuck with that at all, bro. Like, this shit is not cool. But basically, when you allow talk like that, when you allow your inner voice to take on the parasitic role, then you're allowing the parasite to hijack your emotions and hurt your own feelings and just make yourself feel bad. But I don't think anybody wants that. Like, I don't think anybody wants that. So we'll go back to the parasite though. We'll go back to the parasite. For now, let's focus on the homie. That's your other voice. The homie is great. Hey, shout out to the homie, man. Shout out to the homie, man. he's the voice that usually it's the voice that will usually inspires like positive self-talk. It's the one that'll make you feel good and joyous and confident and driven. It's all your positive emotions. It's all the motivation you have to go out there and achieve your dreams. It's all the moments where you just have pure or unadulterated swagger when we're walking across the dance during the 8th grade middle school dance. Hey, everybody hit the Gangnam Style with your boys. Is it that kind of? It's those kind of emotions. It's that kind of internal confidence. It's just that's what it is. Like that's what it is. There's nothing else to say about it. Like that's what it is. When your voice is narrating as the homie, they can point out the truth in any situation and also the positives. And a lot of times, when it's the parasite, they'll focus on only the negatives and things that will tear you down. Conversely, the homie tries to focus on he doesn't even try to. He just does it. Like he just does it. That's just his job. He just be focused on the positive. Because all the homies there to build you up, and the parasites there to tear you down. And as simple as that. To be honest, for a while I didn't even know there were like two different voices. I thought it was just me. Talking. But it's very hard to tell because both of the voices in your head, they sound the same. And both of them are like equally. Actually, no. It's not equally as persuasive. Like they're not equally persuasive. The parasite is actually way more persuasive than the homie is. Like the parasite is crazy, bro. I do not fuck with them. Most people switch between the parasite and that homie multiple times per day, like a lot of times per day. Like a lot of times you'll go from like saying good things about yourself, feeling good, not so much on other times. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're in parasite mode, self-doubt, anxiety, and fear all just jump you. They just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're on you. And a lot of times you can feel like there's no escape from it. It's like, oh, I'm so terrible, this, that, and the other. It's just like, bro. But when the homie's out, you like again, like I was saying, you're feeling confident and joyful. It's and one thing, and the reason why it was important for me to realize that there are two different voices is because if you just identify as the voice in your head, you will just it will make it much easier for you to accept things that the parasite says as the truth, even if they're not. Because if you're saying, oh, like I'm the one saying it, if you're the one saying it, motherfucker, like it's got to be true. But if you recognize that there are some thoughts that you have, like that's you, like that, like it comes from like the authentic, the true you who really like just wants the best for yourself. And there's also thoughts that come from like all the negative stuff in the world that you've experienced, all like the trauma you've had, or all the terrible things that you've learned from people who are just trying to like impress their worldview upon you. And the bullies, everybody, bro, like just all the negative things in the world. Like if you don't recognize that there's two halves to that, and despite like the voice coming from your head, it can like the words themselves can come from different sources. So you got to recognize that. So again, you're not the voice in your head. You're the whole burger. You're not just the meat. You know what I'm saying? You're the whole burger. But the obvious question is, how do I listen to the homie and not the parasite? How do I listen to the homie and not the parasite? I'm not trying to talk to the parasite. I do not want to hear BS to say. I do not want to hear anything like from him at all. Nothing, bro. But the only answer is to love yourself unconditionally all the time. That's the only answer. The only answer to the parasite, which tries to... The only way to respond to the parasite, whose goal is to put conditions on your love for yourself, is to just say, nah, I'm going to just love myself. I'm going to just do my own thing. Oh, kind of like how Miles Morales said. I didn't even notice we said the same line because me and him were like these. But a lot of people don't love themselves unconditionally. Coming from someone who used to let the parasite just like roam free, say whatever the hell he wanted about me, it's very easy to be so used to the parasite that you don't know that there's like I was saying earlier, you don't know there's another voice. But not only that, you don't even know that you can disagree with the parasite to begin with. It's like conditioning yourself to talk about yourself negatively makes you more likely to just not even resist in the future. Yo, it's a new day. It's a new day. That's all I gotta say. I just need a little rest, you know what I'm saying? Oh, 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 oh. I just need a fresh perspective on this whole issue. But like previous Nasam was saying, basically the only way to counter the parasite is through unconditional self-love. For a lot of people, that might be difficult because a lot of people, they don't love themselves unconditionally just by default. Like that's not the default. Like a lot of people, they just don't have that. Like that's not like a normal default option type shit. So the first step to shifting the voice of your narrator to that of the homie instead of the parasite is to recognize when any sort of negative thoughts come in your head. One of the main sources of power that the parasite gets is from the external things you hear that are negative that you impress upon yourself. For example, let's say you're going to the store, and you're just wearing a shirt, and you see your buddy Jim. Well, he's not really your buddy. You just sort of know him. Like he's not your buddy. You just sort of know him. And he sees you. He's like this.
He's like, hey, nice shirt.
And then you're like, okay. Okay, Jimmy. And then like before you can even respond, he walks away. So like he's gone. Like he's long gone. And now you're just left with like the these negative feelings, right? And in a situation like that where someone will even in an offhanded sense, they will like try to like throw shade at you. A lot of times the parasite will take that, and that will become a main source of power for them. And they'll take the judgments that other people put on you, and then it will use the voice inside your head to also like put those judgments on you, and you end up adhering to those judgments, and you end up judging yourself based on someone else's like unreasonable criteria. Because before you even saw Jimmy, you were just cooling at the store. When you picked the shirt out in the morning, you're like, okay. I mean, like, you know, I know it's not the most fly shirt, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty cool shirt. Like, I fuck with them. Like, like it's chill. But now you're like, now when you leave the store, like Jimmy's voice is repeating over in your head, and it's like, oh man, I shouldn't even wear this shirt. Now when you see a baddie in the parking lot, you're like, I can't even come close to her right now. Like it's just a damn shame. Like it's just a damn shame. I don't have like I don't have what it takes. Like I'm wearing this goofy shirt, bruh. And then once that self-doubt starts creeping, then other self-doubt, it opens the door for other self-doubt in other areas of your life. It's like, oh, do I even have the confidence to talk to her? What would I even say? Is my risk even at that level? Am I even him? Like for real? Am I even really him for real? I'm just one of hims. I'm just one of hims. And that's a situation where the parasite would gain power like that. But this doesn't mean that you should be shutting down other people's opinions before you even hear them, or not accepting anything external. But it does mean that you have to be very aware of people's intent behind their words. Now, recognizing people's intent will help you distinguish the facts from the opinions. And if you can see something for what it truly is, then you can decide whether or not you want to accept that as a fact that you need to like do for your life. Or if you want to reject that, be like, oh, this motherfucker's hating. Jimmy, like, your shirt isn't that good either, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that. Another way the parasite will also get at you is through negative internal talk, which is also like when you beat yourself up. Beating yourself up, you know what it means? Like, when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, I don't look good today. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too short. My hair is balding. And that's not okay. Like, I suck because I'm balding. I'm not going to get any bitches because I'm balding. Yeah, crazy stuff like that. That's one of the main ways the parasite will gain power. And honestly, I think arguably there's more negative internal talk than external talk. I think all it takes is a little bit of external talk, and then you start to domesticate yourself with your own negative internal talk. And like if you're the one talking about yourself, like, oh, like this guy sucks at that and the other, that's what you're gonna become, because it's like that's all you've been hearing your whole life. And the negative internal talk is so powerful, which is why you have to be mindful of what the parasite is saying. Because if you're not careful, they're gonna ruin your whole life. The parasite literally wants to ruin your whole life, which is crazy. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy, but they're gonna do it if you let it happen. It's like, without noticing how you speak to yourself, these little comments you give to yourself, or even like the ones you typically do, even as like a joke, if you're like, oh, I look so crazy as far, like I look so stupid, they can spiral into a storm of like self attacks, and next thing you know, you're beating yourself up. Mike Tyson just hitting yourself with combos, and that's not what you deserve. That's not what you want. Like, whoever wants to beat themselves up, like, for real, like, who really wants to do that? No, but it's just that a lot of people, they're not conscious of the way they talk to themselves, so they just like let it continue. And we let it continue, it only gets stronger over time. So it's like, fuck. And if that happens, the parasite can limit your potential just in your life and your social circles, like everything, your own confidence in yourself, everything. So it's like, it's important. Back to what I was saying about unconditional self-love. This is the only way to defeat this evil bastard known as the parasite. We have to consciously love every part of ourselves, even the parts that we wish were different, and just accept them. Like, without conditions, you have to accept every part of yourself, and like, just be like, I love you for you. And like, yes, there's things you still might want to change, but it's like, I love you the way you are now. Like, at every stage, you're perfect, because I recognize that you're on like a path to like growing and changing and becoming better. But you gotta love yourself first. You can't be like, oh, like, you're nothing. You're gonna go to the orphanage. Like, you're like, yeah. you can't be saying that to yourself. And instead, you gotta treat yourself like, just be gentle. Like, just be gentle with yourself, and don't let the parasite come in and just start doing whatever he wants. When the parasite does say something crazy, and you're also giving yourself unconditional self-love, it's much easier to recognize what you believe for yourself versus like these intrusive thoughts or anything that the parasite is saying or anything from outside of you, and you can distinguish between the two now. So now it's like, oh, despite like the things that I may just hear or the things that pop in my head about like how I feel, like, I know that that's not me. That's not who I want to be. So it becomes much easier to influence your own growth in like your character and your own train of thought. In simple like terms, the parasite sees you for nothing. It sees you at your worst, and it's trying to bring you further like towards like just the worst you could be on the total spectrum of the potential you have. And the more you listen to the parasite, the worse it's gonna get, and like the worse you're gonna treat yourself. But if you listen to the homie, he's always trying to build you up. He's trying to see the good in things. He can see the sunshine, the rainbows, and even on the cloudiest day, like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just the greatest, and that'll bring you towards like the higher potential, just like of the spectrum. So, fuck it. I know who I want to listen to. I know who I want to listen to. I know who I want to listen to. But the next time a judgment pops in your head, really listen to like what the judgment is saying. Don't listen and accept it, but just like listen. And then you have to think to yourself, like, did you learn these somewhere? Who or what experience taught you this? And have you repeated this judgment to other people? Have you told your friends, like, oh, like, I don't even like my hair, like, oh, I'm so fat, oh, I'm so skinny, oh my god, this is, like, you know what I mean? Like, like, have you repeated to other people? And consider how the judgment has shaped your actions, your potential. Have you missed out on like any opportunities? Have you been denied the peace and happiness you deserve because of it? And if so, then think, do you really want this judgment that didn't even come from you? Do you really want it to control your whole life? And if you do, then you gotta accept it. If you really want it to control you, and and if you want it to become part of like your personal story, you want it to become part of your personality, like something you really like believe, then I mean, accept it then, and you just gotta be okay with it and just deal with whatever comes. But if not, then you gotta like let it go. And then not only that, but you also have to like let it go and also disavow it, because you can't even let the idea stand, because then like that will let the self-doubt creep in over and over again. I was talking to my friend about streaming. I was like, yo, you should start streaming, like that could be fire. And then he was like, oh, like, I mean, I've thought about it like a couple times, but like it just wouldn't go anywhere. I'm like, bruh. because if you don't even believe in yourself, like, I recognize at that moment he was like, the parasite had totally taken over, like his confidence in terms of like his ability, it was just like crushed, bro. Like, this is what it could have been, and this is like his over here. Like, this is like sorry, this is the max potentials. His is on this one over here. It's right here now. But this is what it could have been. It's like, bruh, like he's a good gamer too. So like he could tried doing streaming something like that, but he doesn't even like lead himself to take the first step. That's what happens when you let that parasite take over. Sometimes it'll shut you down before you can even start something you want to do. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, like you'll self disqualify. You will disqualify yourself from the things that you deserve if you let the parasite win, because the parasite's goal is to disqualify you from as much as possible, because it wants you to think that you're less than what you are. So it's like, bruh, if you let that just like control you, then it's just gonna do it. So like I don't know, like bruh, like that's just gonna happen. So fuck it. And I feel like if there's one like if there's one person you should be able to count on, it's yourself. Like it's the worst when like the voice inside your head is beating you up. The world's beating you up. Motherfucker, who's trying to now we got a 2-on-1? This is a handicap. Like I don't fuck with that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say on the subject. It's a beautiful Monday morning. You know, trying to lock in. I'm trying to be more locked in general. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I mean, like, how are you? How's your day going? Like, what's up with you? Leave it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video to someone who you think that needs it, or someone maybe they don't even need it. Maybe they just want to hear it. Maybe they just need someone to brighten up their day. Maybe they just need a handsome young man to come and talk to them about things they never even talked about before. Maybe that's what they need. But hey, listen, that's all I gotta say, man. Peace.